The rite of passage for kids is generally to go off and have a gap year, to go off and become a holiday rep, to go off and work in bars in Europe. But kids can't do that anymore and haven't been able to do it since Brexit. And I don't want this to become a video of, and yes, today I'm in the studio for this one because I thought it was important to get this video out. So rather than take time out to go and record it somewhere, I thought I was just going to cover the story as I'm seeing it happen. And unfortunately, for kids these days, they can't go and work in a bar in Europe anymore. They can't do that. When I was 16, I went and stayed in Salou for the summer with my dad in 1988, a long time ago. In 1995, I went and worked I went to Ibiza for the summer. Karen did the same. It's a rite of passage that they see. Karen went to Greece and worked in Greece when she was in her early 20s. Kids these days can't do that. And is that right? Is it right? And people will say, yes, we voted for Brexit. It was right. But a lot of these younger kids that voted for Brexit did not really understand what they were voting for. And I think the general public, and when it comes down to the 180 day rule thing, the 90-day rule also, I mean, that's put people off allegedly coming to Spain, but we don't see that because the tourism numbers in Spain are absolutely fantastic. Anyway, getting to the news in the last couple of days, Rishi Sunak, I can't even say his name, the UK Prime Minister has rejected the EU free movement for young people offer. Now, looking at the European Commission website, and what is the European Commission proposing? The European Commission has adopted the recommendation to the Council open negotiations with the UK with a view to conclude an agreement on youth mobility between the EU and the UK. Now, a lot of tourism companies, Jet2 and the likes, have been pushing for this because they can't get holiday reps. They can't get British holiday reps. And let's face it, when you would get off your bus to go to Benidorm, to go to Malaga, or to go to Tenerife, and you're greeted by a foreign holiday rep, a lot of the times you want to be greeted by somebody that's British and somebody that knows the resort. And that can't happen anymore, which is a downside. So not only are the British tourism industry pushing for this, bars in British areas and British... I mean, let's not get into this whole conversation. I don't want the narrative to be changed around this. That it's like, the Spanish economy will fail due to Brits not being able to come and work here. It's total nonsense. The fact that the Spanish economy is the second best economy in Europe just now, and it doesn't look like that's going anywhere soon. When you look at the housing, I'm going to do another video this week on the housing market and how the housing market is going absolutely fantastic here in Spain. But the UK have found it within the EU wanted to propose after the withdrawal from the UK, it resulted in a decreased mobility between the EU and UK, a situation that has partly affected the opportunities of young people. The UK has shown interest in the issue by reaching out to a number of member states on youth mobility. So the UK implemented a certain section of this, but when it came to it, they knocked it back. The withdrawal agreement protects the rights of EU citizens who were resident in the UK or in Europe come the 31st of December 2020. Hence the reason, if you look back at this channel, we made the move in September 2020 to make sure that we had all the rights of an EU citizen. We still have the rights as an EU citizen, even. So I'm just going to say it like the way it is, isn't it? But yeah, so we still have the rights as an EU citizen. We can still move anywhere under the freedom of movement because we got here before the 31st of December 2020. So why is this important and why am I doing this video? Because it's important for places like for Benidorm that I've just done a series of videos on. It's important that young kids can go and get that summer job. We've taken that away from them. We've taken that away from our youth. And is that right? Is that right that we've imposed that on our kids, our grandkids in years to come, that they won't have the right to go and experience working in Ibiza, working in Tenerife, fantastic resorts that a lot of British people go to, but that's been taken away completely. And even when it comes to younger musicians, they've got to jump through hoops. Young DJs, they want to go and DJ in Ibiza for the summer, or whatever resort around Europe. That's been taken away from them, and I don't think that's right, personally. That's just my belief. I mean, many people watching this video might have other beliefs and say, look, that's what we voted for. We wanted out of Europe. We wanted to protect our borders. We wanted 480 million a week for the NHS. Let's not get too political about it. But what would be envisaged by the EU and UK has been envisaged that agreement for both EU and UK citizens aged between 18 to 30 are eligible people that would be able to stay up to 4 years in a destination country. So it's not talking about moving full time. It's probably looking at the holiday rep type people that want to go and work in bars and take a gap year from uni once they've finished their university, take a gap year. The mobility would not be purpose bound. Beneficiaries would be able to undertake different activities during that period, such as studying, training, working, traveling. Neither would be subject to a quota system. So it is just aiming at the youth. It's aiming at younger people. They have had that taken away from them. And I personally think it's absolutely terrible. So let's look at some of the headlines. Some of the headlines: the UK rejects EU free movement for young people offer. And Guardian says Sunak rejects offer from mobility youth system between the EU and UK. The UK government rejects proposals for the EU free movement for young people. I find it sad. Another one: Brussels proposed return to pre-Brexit mobility. Of course, they're going to go with pre-Brexit narrative. That is not what it is about. It is about allowing the younger people, the younger generation, to have that experience that us older people have had since the 80s. You know, UK government rejects proposal for free movement. UK rules out EU-wide on work study visas. It's not a visa. And that's coming from Sky. Sad. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if you think that it's right that young people cannot have the same experiences, cannot now leave the UK to go and work in the UK and vice versa. You know, that young people from the UK cannot go and work in Benidorm, Salou, Malaga, Ibiza, Palma, Mallorca, Tenerife, any of the Canary Islands. Is that right? I don't think it is, but who am I? I'm just a YouTuber that talks about everything that has to do with Spain and the lovely country that it is. And some of the more headlines: EU woos Labour with freedom movement deal. UK rejects free movement for young people offer, is the BBC. It's a shame. It is a shame, but it is what it is. Tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure that you like the video. If you don't like this, because you maybe think that Brexit is a good thing, well, give the video a thumbs down. I don't really care. I think that it's when you look at the narrative that the media are saying, the politicising the fact that, you know, there's people that they're missing out, and I'm sure we've seen it in. I seen up in Benidorm, pubs in Benidorm are still having to take a day off because they don't have sufficient staff to run 24/7. There's like 7 days a week, which is unfortunate. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic day. Wrong video. Hasta luego.